Okay, thank you very much. So glad working with everyone here. It's really interesting.
Nice to meet you again,
And
Ella.
yes, same here too. I'm really excited. So basically, there's a whole lot of things around technology. Recently, I had a friend in Scotland who was telling me that Scotland, they are really taking their baby step in technology. I thought it was just an African thing, but sometimes educators are wary about certain technological tools. So having us here, I would like us to talk about our experiences so far, looking at the various tech tools that we've used. So what is your favorite tech tool? Why is it your favorite? And what were your first steps in using it? Because everybody, there's really that very first step that we went through using tech in our classroom. So can we share so that others will also learn and see how we're able to brace our first steps?
So shall I start?
Sure, well, yes, you can.
Okay, so my favorite tech tool is Skype. Nowadays is really Skype, because I can connect with the world and I can bring the world inside my classroom. So I'm really a fan. It all began with a connection I had with Fabien Cousteau, the explorer, some years ago, and I became a fan, as I said. Ever since, I've been doing many mystery Skypes, virtual field trips. By the way, I met you, Ella, on a mystery Skype game a few years ago. So it keeps us making friends all around the world. So it's a good way of opening our students' minds to this big world we have.
What were your first steps? Because I know you've shared this with me before, your first steps in trying the Skype.
Yeah, the very first steps, I started small. A good thing happening in my personal life was that my son was going to London to study. So I had to look for a way of connecting with him. So I chose Skype. There's not so much of WhatsApp and other tools we have now. So that was my very first step. Then I started, well, maybe I can do this with one friend or another from a different country. And so I started one person at a time. Very small steps, baby steps, you know. Then I saw this connection by Fabien Cousteau. So I grabbed it and I got it. And ever since then, I've been improving, and now I have my own lesson. So I'm going to many classrooms all over the world with my plastic brigade. So it's really wonderful what we can do. Starting small would be my advice.
Okay, Lisa, you can go on.
Okay, so I've been using Flipgrid. That's like one of my favorite tools. It's my favorite because it's accessible for all students. Students are able to be exposed to speaking and listening. That was one of the things as a teacher that I always had trouble with, is we would have to assess their speaking and listening, but I didn't really have anything for them to do. We could do a debate, we could do a Socratic seminar, but I wasn't really hearing them speak naturally. And on Flipgrid, you really get to hear them speak naturally. They do have grid pals where you can actually talk to other people across the country. I actually did a lesson with somebody in South Africa, and I never really got to Skype with them because they were so many hours behind or ahead of us that I had to find another way. So we used Flipgrid. We had the students, interact with one another, but they were only talking to each other on Flipgrid. But it was a nice little way to interact. And it made it very simple for us. And it's a really great community because Flipgrid will allow teachers to give feedback, and they'll act on that feedback.
Taji, let's hear you.
Okay.
For me, my favorite currently tool is Flipgrid, like Lisa. I started using Flipgrid because I wanted a way where the children can collaborate and communicate, because it was a very good tool that they can communicate and collaborate. And as well, for English classes, we had issues with some children putting down their thoughts. But I discovered that through Flipgrid, these children were able to say a lot about the topic. To the extent we even have a book club of Flipgrid. So weekly, they read a book, they do a book review, so they're able to reply each other with a video. So that's the exciting part for the children. They get so excited when I say, oh, we're going to do a lesson today on Flipgrid, we're going to do a book review, we're going to do lots of things. So they get excited, they communicate, they collaborate, and it gives them an opportunity to be creative, because there are lots of tools they can use on Flipgrid. They take selfies, there are emojis, they can draw on the backgrounds, they can write a lot of things. And the children have really been exploring these amazing ways of learning using Flipgrid. So for my first Flipgrid experience, I started using it, I learned it myself. So for the first time, there were a couple of things I couldn't do with it. So but as I started using it, even working with the children, I got to find out lots of things that we can do with it. Like Lisa said, connect with other classes from around the world. So it has made learning very exciting and educative too for the children.
Thank you very much. So can we hear from you, Duha?
Yeah.
Yes, we can. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, thank you. So there are many tools, many interesting tools. I use it in my classroom, in my classes with my students, as Skype, Flipgrid, as I said, my colleagues now. But as ICT teacher, I have coding tools that's called Meet App Inventor. Okay, it's a visual programming language that will quick start with kids' interest in mobile apps development. It's so easy interface allows students to construct a functioning app without pure knowledge of any programming language. It's easy enough that even the children can use it to build apps. We can start with 9, 10, and even with 7 if we change language. Okay, there is option of language. The most considerable features is that you can use these apps on all smartphone, tablet, any mobile devices, and even PC. Okay, its unique feature include blocks terminology that helps to build apps, Android apps. Okay, its user-friendly interface makes it simple to use, while its terminology makes it unique, which is powerful combo. And the most important for me is that there are two options. Okay, if you have internet connection in your classroom, you can use offline version. If you have internet connection, you can use online version. So it's solution. Especially for schools in rural area. It's a good solution. Okay, that's more option for this coding tools for kids. Okay, there is no knowledge of programming. And it's the best way to start learn programming when they grow up in high school and at university. Also, the most important tools when I love to use tools and use it all over the world the year with my student. The one option the basic option, it's free. It's free tools. Learn. Okay, there's no a day that we'll be asking for license or for something else. Okay, and there is an important thing that my student can use test. We can test this tools where they build their apps on PC, okay, on classroom, and they use it with their mobile devices, mobile or tablet. And if they don't have mobile devices, they can use it with emulator. There is emulator on platform that we can use it. That's the most important tool, okay? And finally, a student, it's not just learn how to code, okay? Because he's addicted to download games. He addicted to download something from Google Apps, Google Play or App Store. So finally, when he trained to use App Inventor, he can upload his apps on App Store and download it, and he will feel proud and he will feel he's a young programmer. That's the best thing why I choose App Inventor. And I'm a big fan of neat tools as Scratch and App Inventor.
Oh, that's super interesting. Well, for me, I like Nearpod as well. Nearpod a whole lot for educators and for kids as well. So it's really interesting. There's a whole lot of resources out there, and it's awesome how we've been able to use them and also bring our learners on board.